Daniel Negreanu does nothing by accident. He didn't win $6 million with luck. Every professional gambler has a process. He teaches a master class, highly interesting. I am not a gambler because I have zero poker face, but it's really cool, right? There is nothing that he does that isn't backed by data. He has statistics and complex math to help him understand every possible combination he could come against. He has a process for reading his opponent. Every decision that they make is based on data and a well-defined process. So I want you to think for a minute about your own data. What is the data that you're using when you're working your deals through your process? Whether you're low tech, so how many of you have it in Excel? That's okay, still effective. Maybe we have it in Excel. How many of you are a little bit higher tech? Maybe you have it in a CRM like HubSpot or Salesforce. How many of us use a Salesforce? Awesome. I want you to rate the quality of the data that you're using to make decisions. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 means data, what's that? We do the 1-800-WING-IT method. Or 10 means very, very good data that were put in consistently and I can accurately forecast based on that data. That's a 10. So 1 to 10, shout out your numbers. Let me hear them. 6? 8? 2. Thank you for the honesty, whoever's over there. Thank you very much. We can't possibly make good decisions without good data. And your process has to be based on decisions. So I'm going to share with you 3 things you should put into your sales process. The first one I mentioned already. It needs to be staged with the major steps that the deal should go through in order to close. Typically, it sounds like suspect, prospect, qualified prospect, but there's some steps. And each one of you might have slightly different steps. But what are the steps? After we have the steps, we need to weight it based on confidence, right? So obviously something that's in the first step might have 10% or less confidence that we're going to win because we don't even know what we don't know at that point. And then those closable ones that you have that you're thinking of closing in the next 30 days, what percentage confidence do we have? What do we think? If you're using a CRM, it comes, like a lot of those platforms like HubSpot, comes with percentages built into it. Start with those, but then validate the data. If you go back and look, what really is true in how your deal is closing? So they have to be staged and they have to be weighted. The third to me is the most important. You have to have defined criteria for each and every stage. Defined criteria, and I'm going to show you an example in a minute, but what's the information that you need to find out at every single stage? We call it exit criteria because it means I can't move out of this one until I get this information. If I don't have this information, it doesn't move. So how well defined is that criteria? I'm going to let you work on your criteria for a little bit here in an exercise. So you guys with me? Staged, weighted, exit criteria. So maybe it looks like something like this. This is very generic, 4 steps. Some of you might have 3. If you're in a shorter sales cycle, more transactional, maybe you have 3 steps. I have a client that has 6 steps, and they call them P1, P2, P3, whatever. Whatever your steps are, typically the longer, more complex a deal is, the more steps.
The Sandler Summit returns to the Orlando World Center Marriott on April 2nd and 3rd of 2025. Don't miss out on the premier sales and leadership event of the year. Reserve your seat now at sandler.com/summit.